Now it was just Aztail and Rainbow Dash, the latter flying low to the ground. The dark red Earth plane was running it flat out now. His pace was surprising. So he actually had to put some effort to keep up with him. The vanguard was up ahead, their spears bobbing on their flanks as they rushed over the golden grass. Rainbow Dash climbed, surging over him, and looking out across the golden fields. The horizon was at first unbroken, but once he went a little higher, she could see dark shapes squirming on the line between gold and blue. Aztail reached the rest. "Spears out!" he shouted. The airplanes reached back their spears in unison, a single motion of the long one leveling out, the sharp tips almost tingling in anticipation. Nervous energy crackled in the air, whipped into a frenzy by the wind. Rainbow Dash was breathing hard. She never before entered battle. She had fought before. She fought more than her share of fights, her loud mouth and arrogant pride getting her to plenty of trouble all through high school, right up until the day she was kicked out. She wasn't ashamed. Her mother told her that she was unique. She should be proud of that, so she was. But this was different. This wasn't about defending your honor. This was life and death. It could be killing today. Am I ready for this? She wondered. Fear not. That is what Silmain had said. Rainbow Dash had faced fear so many times, and each time she had beaten it. Fear kept getting back up, but she kept knocking it back down. If fear wouldn't quit, neither would she. This is for Twilight Sparkle! She fought. Her friend's dire need for flashing her mind. This is for Rarity! She thought of the white unicorn's frightened terror. She didn't want to see her heart broken. This is for Applejack. This is for Shieldman, Ashtail, and all the other ponies. If it was killed or be killed, she charged forward. And she wouldn't be the one to die. Equestria! She shouted in a battle cry. She reared back, flared her wings, and blasted forward. Rainbow streaked and caught in the air, gave testament to her speed and power. Ashtail's eyes bulged. Wait! He shouted at the Pegasus' wake. Never caught it! But Dash was already out of hearing. The sky blue Pegasus flew faster and faster. The world stretching to a blur around her. There were a dozen Kabungas around her now. In less than 9 blinks, she was right in her midst. The first thought was that they were kind of giant lizards. Nothing fancier than what Ashtail had told Applejack. Second glances revealed some differences. They had stocky, muscular bodies and tough, thick legs. Their legs weren't really splayed to the side like smaller lizard legs, but held under their bodies like those of a pony. The front legs ended in something like a hand, a huge paw with long fingers and even longer claws. The back legs ended in flatter, shorter paws with duller, shorter claws. The long tails ended up in tapering tips like a whip. They had a medium-length neck, and again, stiffer from a small lizard. On the end of it was a long head, long yet thick, ending in a round snout. They had eyes on either side of their head. The eyes were a dull yellow, with slits for pupils. They had scaly skin colored dark gray, and their colors were dark white. Another instant, Rainbow Dash flew past them. Coming to a halt, she swirled around and looked back. The Kabungas were still surging forward, galloping almost like a pony. They missed her completely. They scowled. They wouldn't ignore her for long. She flew back to the head of the herd and aimed right at their leader, bigger than the others. She streaked right up to it. She yelled, "Take that!" and kicked it square in the mouth. The Kabunga roared, reared up on its hind legs. Dash watched it tower over her. It was huge. Oh yes, it was enormous. Massive. Giant. Not as big as the dragon she'd seen. Not as big as the Ursa Major or Minor, but the biggest things he'd ever seen after those two. He swiped his front paws at her like a bear as he spun to the side, tossing the blow downward, knocking her head off with sheer force. The Kabunga slammed down and opened his mouth. Rows of sharp teeth gleamed. He snapped at Dash as he swung back, cartwheeling in the air, and kicking the Kabunga in the mouth again. It roared and gave her a swipe with its front paw. It spun with heavy slowness and kicked at her with its back paw. Fizzed with a swipe of its tail. The thin end cracked in the air like a bullwhip. All these Rainbow Dash dodged. She laughed. Give me your best shot, she taunted. Kabunga swiped at her. Too slow? Give me your best shot. Slash, too slow. She glanced out of the corner of her eye. The other Kamungas were still moving forward and left her behind. Let's play keep up, she called, flying backwards. The Kamunga roared and followed her, snapping at her with his jaws. She kept just out of reach. She looked back over her shoulder. She could make out the fan guard. Dad grinned at the Kamanga, flailed to the side, tossing her paw. Time to take you out, she cried. She flew in a circle around the Kamanga, then another circle. Faster and faster, the wind cried. She whirled, whipping into a tornado. The great lizard sank his claws to the ground, but Rainbow Dash kept spinning. The twister grew stronger. Finally, the beast was ripped up and hurled in the air, rising over her head, corkscrewing, bouncing off the walls of the moving wind. Dash stopped. She blasted away as the tornado crashed, sending the Kamanga crashing down. It hit the fields with a faint crunch. Rainbow Dash fled above the beast, lying prone on the ground. It didn't move. Her smile faltered. What did I just do? She had been caught in the intensity of the action. Had she really intended to kill the thing? She slowly flew closer. Hugh's paw raised up and slashed. She backed away. The claws caught her tail, dragged to the ground. She hit it hard, and the air was knocked out of her lungs, dazing her, leaving her prone. She sputtered and rolled over. The beast had broken her back leg, but was right above her. It opened its jaws, teeth like meat cleavers, eyes wild and mad. Thunk! The Kamanga howled and jerked away. There was a spear growing out of its neck. Sar's jowl blurred to the corner of her vision, a black streak tinged with dark red leather. The deal pony reeled on his back legs, wrapped his front legs around the spear, and shoved. A second howl died in Kamanga's throat as the sharp steel pierced its neck completely. A sharp sound pulled the spear tip back into his neck and twisted. Kamanga's head gave a freakish jerk to the right, and then the beast collapsed, tongue lolling out. Dash was panting, her eyes wide. "You all right?" Sharp sound asked her. Pulled the spear out of the dead lizard and tried her aside. "Are you all right?" Dash shook herself. "I'm fine," she said. Shakily she pulled her tail free and got her hooves. "What about the others?" "The vanguard's all laid straight to Kamangas. They got a few of them occupied, but some broke through." "What?" "Some always break through," the Black Earth Pony said. "That's why we have the mid-guard and the base guard." "Alexander!" she cried. "We gotta help them!" "What we have to do is kill or drive out the Kamangas that have engaged us. That's the point of the vanguard. Then, we help the other guards. No sense of running off to them and letting our round of Kamangas through. And he does have to deal with more of them." Sky Blue Pegasus nodded. Right, I get it! Come on! He said, turning. "Oh, and also," he narrowed his violet eyes, "go right for the head or neck. It's the only way to guarantee a kill." Kill. Right. "You all work together?" she asked. Sarsong gave a silent glance. "Sir, that tornado you summoned could be handy. Now let's go!" 8 Kamangas were barreling through the midguard. Applejack pounded on her hooves. Ponies around her leveled their spears. She was standing near Birdspeak. "Don't know if you noticed, but I ain't got no spear." "I'll handle the spear work. If I cripple one, you can cut it down to finish it. Aim for the neck." The brown deal pony clutched her spear tightly in her teeth. She dug her hooves to the ground. Her body suddenly went rigid. "Stand firm!" Upside nodded. She saw some distance from Shieldmate. It dug her hooves to the ground. Focused her mind. Loyalty, she thought. That's what Astiel had told her. Her love and devotion to her friends and family would be the strength she needed to become immovable in the face of danger. She focused on it now. She thought about Twilight Sparkle. The lavender unicorn was depending on her to cure the horned time. She thought of her family. That was something Applejack knew all too well. She thought of Big Mac, Granny Smith, Apple Bloom. She thought of Astiel. Why am I thinking of him? She wondered. The dark red earth pony surged to the front of her mind. Didn't make any sense, but she felt as loyal to him as she felt to her friends and family right now. Don't ponder about it. Just use it! She see out of Astiel along with the rest. Her body suddenly tense, straight fully from her hooves up to her legs. She could actually sense the earth beneath her. She looked ahead. The Kamangas were almost there, huge and awful. 2 of them were barreling side by side toward her. Nor's Earth Pony breathed hard, determined to face the monsters with boldness. She suddenly wished she had some rope. He moved closer and closer. They passed her completely, one on either side. It took her a moment to realize it, and watched them run. They didn't seem any interest in turning around. "Go after them!" Birdspeak shouted. taking her spear in her mouth. Don't let them reach the flag! Elsack nodded, galloped away, quickly catching up with the beast. But Birdspeed came around to Kamunga on the right, gave it a slash with her spear, causing it to fear and attack her. Applejack leveled with the other one, coming up to his head and glanced across, looking into his yellow eyes. It surprised her. There's none of the calm alertness of a predator. Kamunga's eye was alive with madness, with panic. But why? Attack! Birdspeed yelled, slamming the beast on her forehead with a fire axe. Attack! The rest of her pony gathered itself and galloped faster, getting out in front of the massive lizard. As he planted her front hoof, twisted aside and bucked. Her host cracked a Kamunga hard in his jaw, sending it skidding away from her. With a howling roar, it faced her, opening its mouth full of razor teeth and charging. She suddenly realized how big it was, how imposing and immense. Fear overcame her, and all thoughts of standing firm vanished. Gnashed its teeth, and she flailed, striking out with her hoof axe. She nicked the great lizard on the lips, a dribble of golden blood spurting out. The Kamunga reared back and swiped again with his paw. Outside danced to the side, but was hit hard by the back of a scaly forelimb, sending her flying. Her hat flew off her head. She shook herself, struggling to get safely to her feet. A red blur streaked along the Kamunga's side, suddenly made it howl in pain. Astiel broke away and scared to a stop, spear between his teeth, the tip dripping blood. He glared angrily at the enormous lizard. The Kamunga turned to face him. Once more, Applesack saw that panic in his eyes, the mad desperation. But at once, swiping with both his massive paws, Astiel rolled to the side, somehow spinning the spear between his forelegs and keeping them all the while on the ground. The long weapon twirled between his legs, came out, he spun it around his neck, reared back, took the spear between his hooves, thrust against Kamunga's cheek. Let's do it again. His whole body went rigid. He held the spear out between his teeth. The Kamunga fell into it. Its own weight thrusting the spear teeth deep into his shoulder. Pulling away, the great lizard staggered back. The dark red earth pony sprang to his hooves and left the top of it. He turned the head of his hoof axe around, facing the blade inward, scud down the swaying Kamunga's body, his neck, and sliced. Elzak turned away. It hadn't seemed a fair fight, to be honest. Astiel trotted over to her, the head of his axe covered in gold, leather armor scuffed. Are you all right? He asked her. She blinked a few times. I'm fine, she said. She was assuming that he had done all the work. He didn't say eternally she was some damsel in distress. Sorry to help. You can help me now, he said, trotting over to her head, picking up his teeth. He offered it to her. There are 3 Kamungas heading toward the flag, and the base guard's the smallest of our 3 waves. I need to go ahead and at least one of them off. Come with me? Elzak flipped her hat back onto her head. Sir, she said, still feeling uneasy. A whistle in the wind made her turn her head. A tornado rose up in the distance. Rainbow seems to be hailing well enough, she thought. She made and turned to her right side to Kamunga. His claws bounced off her shield. Bertie! She called. Can you use the magic? White unicorn's wide eyes flickered across the scene. The 20 Dale ponies were warily striking at the 3 enormous lizards that had attacked their position. Steelmate and 5 others were dancing around the one nearest to her, with snapped at his jaws and lunged down. Round earth pony with gray eyes. The wicked teeth scraped across the armor on the Dale pony's back, leaving deep gouges in the leather, but his flesh was unharmed. He slashed up with a hoof back and nicked the right jaw. The Kamunga sprang around with surprising speed and whipped its long tail, knocking several of the ponies off their hooves. Steelmate grabbed her with a spear, but ignored her and loomed over the other pony. Meow! Rarity cried. Her horn shimmered as she could feel a great surge of power, more than she was used to. Crystal horn blade on her head lit up her end, shone brilliant white. The golden vines heads onto it gleaming. The Dale pony was yanked away from the Kamunga, skidding across the ground further than she had intended. She glanced briefly up to the horn blade. Had it just amplified her magic? She used her telekinesis again, this time on all the fallen ponies, pulling them safely away from the lizard. A howl broke through her thoughts. She turned and screamed. The 4th Kamunga had appeared. She turned tail and ran, ignoring Steelmate's cry as a whole. The beast was still on her tail, was gaining ground quickly. And the worst thing that could have happened. She tripped. The white unicorn tumbled to the ground. Back over her shoulder, she saw the Kamunga nearly upon her. Rolling into her back, she faced it as a keen. Suddenly, struck her courage, she summoned her magic. Ruffian! Brute! She shouted, collecting her telekinesis around the lizard's head and jerking it to the hard to the side. The Kamunga staggered as though it had been struck. Reddy smiled at herself for her bravery, but realized the Kamunga hadn't been hurt. It was now angry. Howled at her once, struggled to her hoofs. Skipping away from it with inches to spare, she ran, and it followed. A slower pace more than made up by the length of her stride. My unicorn's path abruptly came to a halt. She ran to the summit of a completely tall and steep hill. She was at the edge. Ah! She screamed, turning around. Kamunga advanced at her, mouth open, teeth gleaming in the early afternoon light. Charged her. She had nowhere to go. It lunged. Rarity ducked. Me sailed over her, skidding along the ground behind her. The dirt began to give way. Suddenly she felt a horrible pull on her tail. She began to slide backwards, and she turned her head to see the Kamunga bounding down her tail, taking her with it as it slid further down the edge of the hill. She scraped to the ground with her hooves, but she had no match for its terrible strength. Let go! She screamed. The Kamunga clawed uselessly at the earth. They continued to slide backwards. More of the hilltop began to give way. The great lizard's massive weight was collapsing faster. Desperation. Rarity remembered her magic. She focused her power into Kamunga's jaws and pulled with all her might, forcing them apart. She was getting closer to the descent. The Kamunga's grip on her tail still ironclad. Come on, she thought, focusing with all her might. Beads of sweat began to break out of her forehead. She forced open Kamunga's jaws, her tail still free, and she stopped her slide just as the ground gave way beneath the beast. Tumbling off the hilltop. It didn't fall far, but when it hit the ground, it landed right on its head with sickening grunts. Rarity rolled on the top of the hill. She glanced her side out gently, seeing the body of the Kamunga sprawl on the ground below. So she snapped at her head. Ah! She screamed again. She turned around and ran, down the hill, ran all the way down, running to the base, swinging the blade on her horn wildly. Her eyes were wide. Where is he? Sealman called, running down the hill towards her. Where is he? Wait! She ran ahead. The white unicorn blocked her path, running up and catching her between her front hooves. Rarity heaved herself forward, but the gray pony held firm. She looked into Rarity's blue eyes, filled with panic and fear, so like the eyes of the Kamungas. Rarity, it's all right, she said, wrapping her front hooves around her. It's dead. It's dead. Rarity breathed in and out in great heaves. She shuddered against Sealman's body, closing her eyes tightly. Slowly she calmed down, breathing returned to normal. She opened her eyes. Thank you, Seal Maiden, she said softly. I don't know what came over me. Seal Maiden nuzzled her. Fear. The white unicorn turned away. You told me not to be afraid, she murmured, flattening her ears. I'm sorry. I've let you down. That was your first taste of battle. You said so yourself. Seal Maiden smiled at her. And besides, I thought you were very brave. Rarity smiled, and Seal Maiden released her. The two of them trotted up the backside of the hill. When they reached the top, they saw Asael and Applejack gathered a cluster of the base guard around the flag. The dark red airplane buzzed between them. Seal Maiden left Rarity's side to meet with him. Lieutenant, your report, he asked. Four Kamunga's dead. I don't know if any more got through. I fall back to the Midgard. They were handling about 3. Vanguard did south of 5. He slid his ears around. I don't hear them anymore. But stop sounds with the Vanguard. I think we got them all, Captain, Seal Maiden said, her face turned grim. Did we lose any, Pony? Turning away from her, Asael galloped to the field, the golden grass broken here and there by the massive body of Kamunga. The guard, assemble! He shouted at the top of his lungs. The guard, assemble! He galloped to the far field, stuttering over and over. The guard, assemble! Rumble filled the air, growing into a thunder as the deal parties appeared over the hills. They were scraped and scuffed, some of them missing other plates, and a few bled. Applejack and Rarity were overjoyed to see Rainbow Dash flying in with the gathering ponies. She spotted them and landed swiftly beside them as the deal guard formed into neatly rows. Asael galloped a few, trying anxiously toward the guard. When a few minutes passed and no more ponies came, he trotted down the length of the group, counting under his breath. 19 rows of 5, 1 row of 3. Shieldmate, Rarity, Rainbow Dash, Applejack, himself. He breathed out slowly as he turned to Shieldmate. Every pony's here, like the gods. Rainbow Dash nuzzled Rarity and Applejack. You girls are you alright? She asked. I'm not scuffed, but not too bad, Applejack said. How about you, Sugar Cube? Dash looked away. Oh, I'm fine, she said softly. I was a big help. Reserve Point leaned in closer. Does it kill anything? I don't want to talk about it, Dash said. Please do, Rarity said. It's simply moss. You won't be feeling better until you do. Sky Blue Pegasus shook her head. I didn't actually do any killing, but I helped. I helped a lot. Those things don't take falls very well. I worked with the rest of the Vanguard. Her rose eyes wavered. I never actually used weather to hurt anything before. Ponies over close to you, Azrael's voice broke into the mist. Frank, I thought you saw him standing with Shieldmate at the top of the guard. We have a long way to go before we reach Stockholm. 9. Applejack led the way as they advanced to their side place. Please talk later, Rainbow Dash, Rarity whispered. Sky Blue Pegasus nodded. They took their places behind Azrael and Shieldmate. Dear God, move out! Ponies resumed their previous mighty pace, leaving the killing fields behind. The world rushed around them as they galloped, moving further and further west. Applejack's mind was consumed by a single image, the image that had haunted her since her first glimpse of it. Panic in the eyes of the Kamungas. They hadn't looked ready to attack at all. In fact, she certainly would continue to run past the guards if they didn't act on first. That reminded me of something, she thought. Those eyes, that frantic pace. The thought reminded her was at the tip of her tongue. Only she could recall what it was. Rainbow? She called to Rainbow Dash. When you were attacking them Kamungas, how long did it take you to get their attention? Sky Blue Pegasus turned their minds to Brienne. I want to think about Kamungas, because that brought to mind all the times she held them in the air with her tornadoes, only to drop them all crashing down, see to break their legs, their tails, or even necks. She hadn't technically killed any of them, but there was one. It was one she'd broken the neck of, and obviously been dying. The nail point came to slice his throat had been unnecessary. So he drifted close and looked into his eyes as it struggled. He stared at her stupidly, so I had no idea what was going on. Dash blinked. It made her feel horrible. Rainbow? The reserve point began. Dash focused on the question. I guess I had to attack them first. Really hit them to get their attention. She thought more. Honestly, they seemed distracted, like they were thinking about something else. Something else. Alzak repeated. The enormous lizards had been focused fully on their forward progress. They were oblivious to the world around them. It's like our eyes widened. No, that couldn't be it, could it? The Kamungas were agents of destruction, weren't they? Azrael had said so. Azrael couldn't be wrong, could he? The sky was burning orange by the time her horizon was broken again. Elzak had been stewing in her thoughts for several hours, always returning to that one idea. She looked ahead and saw a structure on the horizon, very large. Is that Stockholm? She asked. Yes, Azrael cried over his shoulder. We approach the center of Glendale. You three had best get your arguments ready. Elzak swallowed. No time to think about the Kamungas now. She had to think about what she would say to Lord Hammerhuff. Azrael had talked of him as hard and distant, but not cruel. He was fiercely protective of Glendale and his ponies, all of whom he considered surrogate children. According to Azrael, he was also very proud. Tesla grew closer, and Applejack could tell it was enormous, dwarfing Greyswall from the previous day. No, it was past enormous. This sight defied reckoning. Was it really one big barn? It quickly filled the whole of her vision. Enormous timbers piled on top of one another, fixed together with burnt red mortar and a supporting slab of solid stone. The rocky foundation towered above the plain. The floor plan of the structure was at least a third of the area of old Ponyville. The foundation was even broader. Huge stones were fixed together, slid into place so tightly that a sheet of paper could not pass between them. The basic design of that home was similar to Greyswall, on a larger scale. It also had a huge round window at its summit, It seemed to look down not one, but two additional stories. Gold and silver lined the edges of the roof. That roof, the name made more sense now. Instead of wood timbers and planks, the room was thatched with the golden grass of the plains. It rippled in the fiery gold of the sunset, lines of pure gold running down its length, likewise gleaming. Across the tape was facing wide. Around the window, a great window. Nails had been carved in wood, distinct white. Ponies racing out of the shining golden aura surrounding the window. Was Applejack supposed meant to be the sun? Is that where they think they come from? The sun? She thought. Rarity was likewise awed by the enormous building. The sophistication of these steel ponies did not cease to amaze her, especially when it contrasted so sharply with her rustic surroundings. She was astounded by the intricacies of the wooden entities and precious metals. How did these ponies do so much without magic? They built, they carved, they sculpted, all with their mere hooves. She would have had to ask one of them to give her a tour, if there was time. That calm continued to swell as she drew closer, coming up to a huge set of wooden gates up to the foundation, just as Gray's wall. It began to creak open. A set of 4 Dale ponies galloped up, all of them wearing armor bearing spears. Dear God! Whoa! Asdale called, and the ponies in his wake slowed to a trot. The approaching ponies likewise slowed, until both groups came to a halt a few feet from each other. Rarity had noticed that the ponies from Thackholm had devices on their tampons, golden covers like Asdale's, where Asdale only had a single silver arrow pointing to the right, to the east. These ponies had 4 silver arrows pointing in every direction. The one in the lead, a white earth pony with a black mane, raised a hoof. Hail, Asdale, Marshal of the East! How's your business at Thackholm? Asdale raised his right hoof. Hail, Brightside, Captain of the Royal Guard. He said to the right, Sealmane stepping to the left. I bring 3 travelers from Equestria, found in crossing the eastern quarter. They seek an audience with the Lord of the Dale, to sue for passage across the remainder of Glidedale. Brightside did not hide his surprise at seeing the 3 equestrian ponies. You know the law, Master. Pegasusly unicorns are not permitted in Glidedale. Raymond was about to say something, but Rarity and Applejack put their hooves on their withers. At present they seek an audience, nothing more, the dark red earth pony said. Brighttongue narrowed his eyes, glaring one by one at Rarity, Rainbow Dash, and Applejack. Do you at least have thoughts? His finally said. Either court will now be incessant. The audience will be at once. Come! He turned, and the rest of the royal guards turned with him, and he backed towards the gates of Thackholm. Dear Gold, of thoughts! And the Asdale's ponies moved forward, trotting at an even pace. Rarity didn't even notice the fatigue in her muscles. Her nerves were working crazily. This was it. This would determine where he would be allowed to cross the rest of Glidedale. They failed here. Tired Spocker, Rarity thought. We can't let you down. I can't let you down. Thackholm lined over her head as they passed through the double gates. So tall that ponies were actually standing on ledges built into them. The stone ramp led them up to the top of the foundation, where Rainbow Dash noted for the first time several small buildings situated in the corners, one each side the normal house of Ponyville. They had thatched roofs just like Thackholm, but were constructed of stone. The whole complex was the closest she'd seen in a town in this country. The gates creaked and shut behind them. Brighttongue halted, and Asdale caused the Dale guard to halt as well. The white earth pony turned to face him again. I shall inform Councillor Checkerboard of the Equestrian's arrival. They are to be ready for the audience in 20 minutes. In the meantime, Marshal, you will come with me. We shall see about the accommodations of our guard. Lord Hammerhuff will want to know about your arrival as well. Understood. Asdale said with a nod. He turned around. Dear God, the mist! The airplanes broke ranks, beginning to mill about. Be ready to disrobe and report the lodgings as assigned. His gaze fell on Sealmane. Lieutenant, will you stay with our guests? Please prepare them for the audience. Yes, Captain, the grey airplane said. Asdale turned back to Brighttongue. We are, Captain. With that, he followed the royal guard captain into the large double doors of Thackholm. Sealmane gestured with her head. The 3 equestrian ponies followed with her to the barn. The interior was every bit as enormous as the exterior suggested. Huge pillars of wood lifted to the ceiling a massive great hall. and the ceiling flattened at the top was reinforced by wooden beams. Flickering torches lined the pillars at their highest heights. Along the side was small balconies protruded from the ceiling. The other hand, the structure was multi-storied. A large round window from the exterior could not be seen. The equestrian's eyes widened as he looked at the ceiling. It was carved with intricate displays, each more marvelous than the last. They were shifting shapes locked in wavering combat, topped with what looked like antlers. There were starbursts of rays, what looked like crumbling mountains. There was a sun with a pony inside of it. There was a strange creature falling back before two winged unicorns. There were two columns of ponies separating, one gallery towards flat plains, and the other towards the mountains where the sun was rising. Finally, there was a great carving of the branching grass symbol of Glidedale, covered in gold leaf. At the very end of the hall, far off and below it, a tall wooden ramp rose high off the ground, leveling where they could not see. Rarity glanced from side to side as they tried, seeing that between each set of pillars a hallway lined with torches branched off. The Dale ponies passed lingering from each other, staring at her. Raven Das turned to the others to whisper, "Pardon me, handmaiden," she asked, deciding to satisfy curiosity, "but I've noticed so very little in the ways of trees in Glidedale. Wherever did you get all this wood?" Steelmaiden bobbed her head. "Exactly where it came from, I don't think any pony knows. Stockholm is almost as old as Glidedale itself. There's a large forest in the northeast, the base of the Dragonbridge Mountains. Perhaps it came from there. That is where we found wood to build the other fastnesses. Although, I suppose it could have come from Simmerwood. I'm not sure they would have needed permission in those days." "Permission?" Rarity inquired. "Permission from—" "Lieutenant Steelman!" A voice cried out from the hall. A hush fell over the Dale ponies. A painted white and rust colt with red mane fence on him. His eyes gray, framed thin. He had a key marker with chest piece on his flanks. A black head pony knight. He wore a simple golden necklace. Steel pony nodded. "Chancellor the Checkerboard, I brought the travelers." Checkerboard peered intensely at the three equestrian ponies. Abelsack smiled brightly. Ravendass grinned. Rarity nodded daintily. "Sure you have," he said. "Calls will be insensitive in 10 minutes. Due to the strangeness of your business, you'll be the first to be heard. Do you tell requesters attendant to speak for themselves?" "We better get to," Das sighed. "We really waited long." "They will be advocating their own case," Steelman said. Stepping aside to block Das' review, she took a deep breath. "I would like to be announced as a second to the petition." Painted Earthburning raised an eyebrow. "Are you certain, Lieutenant? The record cannot be modified after the fact." The gray-haired pony's green eyes hardened. "Are you questioning my decision-making, Counselor?" The sudden urge of ferocity made Checkerboard flinch. "Not at all, Lieutenant. Your record will be a second." He nodded to her. "I must make the court in order. Any questions?" He nodded to the three travelers. They had turned and trotted up to the tall wooden ramp. Steelman turned to face him. "Have you had any experience in court matters?" "We've met Princess Celestia before," Das said. "But it was hardly a formal setting," Rarity observed. "Certainly never in the audience of a solar court." "Well, it's enough to get you here to be courteous," Steelman said. "We do not stand much on pomp and circumstance. The royals and their aides are as much warriors as they are rulers. Even scrawny Checkerboard. Do not speak until spoken to. Answer all questions honestly. Also," she gave him a sympathetic look, "I think Applejack should do most of the talking." "Is there something wrong with anybody Das and I?" Rarity asked sharply, though she already suspected the answer. "An Earth pony would be more credible in Lord Hammerhoof's eyes," she admitted. "Ow! Ow!" Applejack stammered. She hoped Rarity would make the petition. Applejack had never been good at formal announcements. Besides, the White Unicorn was so good at making everything sound formal and proper. "Whoever wants to talk should talk," Ravendass said. "Getting real tired of seeing you ponies have about Pegasuses and unicorns." "Because Rarity said weakly. "Please," Steelman said. "I say it because I want you to be successful. If Applejack speaks, Lord Hammerhoof will hear her words with a more open mind. But he does not think highly of Pegasuses or and unicorns, fairly or no." Sky Blue Unicorn ground her teeth. "Fine," she spat. "But if it gets us going and say Twilight, Applejack can talk." "But I just don't know," Applejack said. I'll never be good at speaking proper act. As long as you speak honestly, I believe you'll listen, Sylvain said. Honestly, Appleset could do that. She was the incarnation of honesty, after all. All right, she said. I'll be right behind you, dear, Verity said. Horn blew to the fast hall. There's the call to assemble. She turned back to the ramp. Come! As he led them forward. At the top of the ramp, Verity gasped. A large, tall space greeted them, already filled with dale pines. Some armored, some bared, some with golden necklaces Checkerboard had worn. A red wine carpet led from the end of the ramp to the raised stone daises. Upon was a broad stone red wood, cushioned with soft pillow of golden thread. The dais stretched out to the broad stone arms, and on either side of the throne, a smaller twin chair was placed. Above and behind the throne was a circular window, rimmed with gold, with golden points stretching up, down, left, right. Each point was a numerous emerald. 2 royal guards stood at tents on either side of the throne, each placed of boiled leather sewn with golden thread. Prancing grass symbol of Glidale, S in gold, enraced out their chaperons. Between the throne and the ramp were trees. Astiel had called it a timbered court. He had not spoken wrong. Whole dread trees were rooted to the wooden floor all through space, bleached white from old told years. Their gnarled limbs stretched high above every pony's head, and they were full. The trees were full of leaves that were glistening gold, flickering torchlight. Rarity glanced at the branch nearest her, saw the shimmer of light across the gold leaves. There was no mistaking it. The leaves didn't shine just like gold. The leaves were gold. Thousands of gold leaves were neatly attached to the bleached white branches, so each tree was as full as if it were alive. She marveled at how much painstaking work must have been involved. How many years of labor and craft had gone to such a wonder? Look at that! Dash said in a whisper, pointing straight ahead. I'm sorry Rarity looked. The trees weren't the only things protruding from the floor. A tall, thick slab of black rock rose up from the hole in the floor around behind the throne, weathered and ancient. Its base clearly lay below them, perhaps all the way down at Thackel's foundation. Are you looking at the Deerstone? Silmayan asked. Is that what it is? Das asked. She nodded. We've been recording the history of our kingdom on it since the very beginning. Each year we carve a single line into the stone, telling of the most important thing that happened at Glidale that year. We've only filled up the back, and also you can see a few lines from the side of the floor level here. Das got her eyes, straining her keen Pegasus sights to the point where the stone rose from the floor. There are several dozen lines carved in small, thin slices. The lines were that small, there were probably hundreds of lines at the back of the stone, hundreds more below them on the front. How old is Glidale? She asked. Don't know, Shilmane said honestly. How old is Equestria? Das spoke the line that every equestrian foal learned. As old as the sun and moon. I don't think we're quite that old, Grey Pony said. A horn blew off from the right. These ponies assembled amidst the trees that grew completely silent. Checkerboard stepped out from between the pillars on the right, stamped his hose on the ground. Hail, Aston, son of Camelhoof, Prince of Glidale, heir to the throne, Marshal of the Eastern Quarter, Captain of the Dale Guard. Protect's eyes widened. Astel strode out, wearing a golden necklace set with an emerald brooch. The ponies around him bowed low, including Steel Maiden. Wow! She hissed. Rarity, Rainbow Dash, and finally Applejack lowered to the front knees. Checkerboard stunned his front hose to the ground again. The ponies rose to the hose, crossed over to the other side of the throne room. Another horn blew, this time from the left. For a third time, he stomped his front hose on the ground. Hail, Hammerhoof, son of Storm Chaser, Lord and King of Glidale! Every pony bowed again, including Ashtail. Heavy footfalls thudded on the wood planking. Unable to resist their curiosity, Applejack and Rainbow Dash looked up, bringing them annoyed glares from Rarity. An enormous, dark red stallion walked slowly to view. Red Eye, is that you? There were several heads taller than the equestrian ponies, about the same height as Princess Luna, perhaps a bit taller. He was powerfully built, enormous muscles bulging beneath his coat on his forelegs, along his flanks, and his heavy chest. He wore a golden crest around his neck, set with a large ruby. His mane was slightly ragged, dirty yellow. He had a beard of same on around his snout. His eyes were blue and piercing, terrible in their intensity. He walked closer to the throne, putting one hoof in front of the other. Applejack was startled when his full body came into view. Harold Hoof was missing his right front hoof. In fact, a good chunk of his right front lower leg wasn't there. In its place was a thick false lower leg of bone-white ivory, covered with gold filigree where the hoof would be. As the orange pony looked more closely, she saw that the Lord of the Deal walked with the faintest of limp. His hoof was bitten by a camonga when he was still a colt, she may have whispered, seeing her friend looking, but it has never stopped him. She leaned in closer. I've ridden with him into battle. I've seen him crack a camonga's skull with a single blow from that hoof. Hammer Hoof stepped in front of the throne. Checkerboard stomped his front hooves to the ground a fourth time. Every pony rose to their hoofs. Tail walked forward until he was in front of Hammerhoof. Lowered his head. My Lord Hammerhoof. Hammerhoof worked his lips for a moment. Prince Tail, he said in a deep, sturdily voice. You're honored this court with your presence. The honor is mine, my lord, Tail said, such strain and tension in his voice. The great stallion nodded. He walked to the throne, turned around, and slowly sat in it, placing his front hooves on the resting platform. The timid court is now in session, he said sharply. Tail took a seat in the chair to the right of the throne. Checkerboard trotted in front of the throne and bowed. My Lord Hammerhoof, the evening's first petition is a matter of great importance. 3 parties will request you have appeared in the land. They request permission to travel across the remainder of Glidedale. Lieutenant Shieldmaid seconds their petition. Hammerhoof narrowed his eyes. Let them approach the throne. When the nuts for Shieldmaid, Applejack trotted out of the trees onto the dark red carpet, was cut a path straight to the throne. Rainbow Dash and Rarity followed her. Behind them came whispers. The words Pegasus and Unicorn hissing through the air. Silence, Hammerhoof said. He did not shout, but his voice was like a clap of thunder. All talk ceased. The 3 travelers stopped in front of the throne. Rarity bowed, glanced at the other 2, who bowed as well. They rose to their hooves, and let the Lord of Deal examine them for a minute. They felt he was staring into their hearts, peeling apart their layers, cleansing their very souls. Was this magic, or simply the force of his spirit? What are your names? He finally asked. Applejack stammered. She swept her hat from her head. I'm Applejack, my lord. Son or a daughter, well, I come from Sweet Apple Acres. That's just a farm outside Ponyfield, Equestria. This here's Rainbow Dash. She nodded to Pegasus. That there's Rarity. And that's a unicorn. They both come from Ponyfield, too. It says on the other side of Dragon Branch Mountains. What is your business in Glidedale? It was the same question Tail had asked, but the voice that had asked it now sounded like a mighty thunder. Well, sir, one of our friends, a unicorn named Twilight Sparkle, had a terrible accident. She came down with a disease. It's called horn rot. Now, she's real sick and might die. 2 weeks from the time she got it. The only thing that can cure her in time is a flower named the Bennett Violet. It only grows back in the Archback Mountains. I know of the Bennett Violet, Hammerhoof said. Played carefully a few times. You said your friend had 2 weeks. When did you begin your journey? It was 5 days ago, my lord, Applejack said. Hammerhoof's brow furrowed. She immediately felt like she said something wrong. It is more than 2 days' journey from here to the western border of Glidedale and Swift Gallop. The Archback Mountains are further still. You do not have enough time to retrieve the flower and to return to save your friend. Oh, well, Lord, we don't need to worry about going back with the flower, Uri's Pony said. She tried over to Rarity and opened one of her white saddlebags and rummaged through it. The bottle wasn't in that one. She looked up and grinned hugely. Just a minute, my lord, she said. Hammerhoof did not look amused. She rolled through the other saddlebag and finally found it. Our friend has a dragon as a, well, it's kind of like a secretary mixed with a pet with a baby brother. Anyway, he has magic fire he uses to send messages, small objects from one place to another instantly. They gave some to us. She held to the bottle of dragon fire, was still swirled and purple green. All we need to do is burn the venom violet with the fire, and it'll go right back to him. Lord Dale said his mouth in a narrow line.
Can you demonstrate this fire and its powers?
Elzak murmured. No, my lord. This is all we got. We can't waste it.
Then you cannot prove it does what you say.
Hammerhoof said.
Indeed, none of your story can be proven.
Please, my lord, Elzak said, trying not to sound like he was begging. Our friend really is in danger. I know you're worried about us, but all we want to do is help her. You have to believe us. Hammerhoof thought his real friend hugged his chin, giving his beard a gentle scratch. He sat back down.
Equestrian ponies are not permitted on land without consent,
he said. I heard that, my lord, Elzak responded. Believe me, if we'd known, we would have stayed maces ahead. When we were in such a hurry, we didn't have time to learn much about your kingdom. She smiled gently, and hoped that was some supplication. Hammerhoof passed another stretch of silence. Finally, he nodded.
Very well. You may pass through my kingdom, to the west, and on your return journey.
Applejack gasped. She beamed, grinning from ear to ear. Well, how to do it? That's my big rule, my lord. You don't know what this means to us. She put her hat back on her head. We'll leave right away. You don't have to put us up for the now or nothing, so don't worry about...
You may pass through my kingdom of pony,
Wardale said.
You, and you alone.
Applejack blinked a few times. Well,
your friends will be escorted back to the Dragonbase Mountains, Hammerhead said. You may all stay at Thuckham tonight before you part ways.
What? Death growled. You can't do that!
Pegasi and unicorns are not permitted at Glidedale,
Hammerhoof said, voice hardening.
That is the law, and I still uphold it.
There's nothing wrong with Pegasus or unicorns. Least of all just one eats, Applejack said. What harm could they do? What have to them now, when they've already come so far?
Because it always begins with one,
the dark stallion rambled.
First one, then two, a dozen. Soon they're all here. And Glidedale, we know it. Glidedale, as I have sworn to uphold and protect it, is gone forever. A Pegasus and a unicorn in any capacity are forbidden here. The damage they have already worked cannot be calculated.
Pardon me, Barry said, stepping forward and holding her head up proudly. I am sick of being talked about as though as I'm a thing. I am a pony, and I shall be treated with the respect I am owed. Yeah! Dreamer dashed out, flapping in the air. We're ponies just like you. What's wrong with us? Why do you treat us like freaks? Hammerhoof glared at him for a moment.
Because you're not just ponies, he said. You're more than ponies. You're beyond ponies. Your wings, your magic. They let you do what other ponies cannot do. You can do all that we do, but we cannot do all you can. This kingdom, all ponies share abundance equally, from the greatest to the smallest. But there could never be equality with your kind in our midst. My lord, Prince Estia, I have not asked for your counsel.
Hammerhoof snapped. Estia looked away, ears flattened. You might see them as bad and different, but they're my friends. We get along just fine, Applejack snarled. And I ain't going nowhere without.
You're going alone, or you're not going at all,
Hammerhoof thundered. He slammed his ivory hoof on the stone dais.
That is my final decision. This audience...
My lord! A voice broke from beyond the trees. It seemed far off. My lord! It was now closer. Whispers rose from the assembled deal ponies. Two guards at the throne stepped forward, pushing equestrian ponies aside, brandishing his spears. A great earth pony with a red mane and teal, hawk mark, advanced his way to the ponies around him. The guards crossed spears, blocked his path. Please, he said, please, I must see Lord Hammerhoof.
Silence!
Hammerhoof shouted. It grew quiet on the ground.
Let them approach.
The guards uncrossed their spears, and the great pony stepped forward. Applejack saw he was trembling.
What is your name, dear pony?
Eagle Voice! Sastiel suddenly cried. I pony's eyes widened and decided the prince. My cousin! I didn't know you'd come.
Your Eagle Voice, then, Hammerhoof said, for the Easter quarter.
My lord! Eagle Voice said weakly. He bowed and almost fell over. I was on Twilight Patrol with Gassion. That's my eagle, you see. He came and told me of an enormous Kamunga sword. Didn't believe him, but he was insistent. So I followed him. Eagle's voice, red eyes widened. My lord, massive herd of Kamungas approaches. I saw them on the horizon. Solid wall of gray, at least 50 strong. You're heading right for Thuckham. They'll be here by the morning. Panic murmurs filled the air.
Silence!
Hammerhoof shouted again.
You're certain of this?
I swear upon my father's name, my lord, Eagle Voice said. I ran all the way.
For the eastern quarter, just this evening,
Emerald said. His expression softened.
Cousin Checkerboard, take this coat to the warm bath with some oats.
Yes, my lord, Checkerboard nodded.
Thank you, good Eagle Voice,
Emerald said.
You may have saved us all.
Yes, the honor is mine, my lord, Eagle Voice said. Checkerboard slid up to him and turned to try it off.
This court is adjourned in a state of emergency,
Emerald declared, voice filling the strong room.
All parties present must prepare for battle on the morrow.
He turned to Astiel.
It's good fortune indeed to have you and your Eastern Guard with us, Prince Whitetail. The fight will be more even now.
Astiel nodded. That may come among us. They could climb on top of each other. Hard on his face. They could scale the foundation.
Then we must meet them before they have the opportunity.
Hammerhoof barked.
He rose from the door,
and Astiel rose beside him.
Captain Brightvoice, you and Astiel shall sit with me in council tonight.
He said to the royal guard captain in front of the crowd.
We must plan well if we are to survive. The fields are to be covered with more gold and lead.
He put himself down to the phone. Astiel followed. Turned to the left.
We must prepare to kill more than we ever killed. You're wrong!
Hammerhoof stiffened. The whole court fell silent. He slowly turned around, blue eyes burning with fury. Applejack was standing where she had stepped out, green eyes just as intense.
What?
He growled. Applejack was startled by his anger, but she swallowed her fear.
You're wrong about the Kamungas, and I don't think you need to kill him.
Hammerhoof walked toward her, hoof falls on as hard as hammers on iron.
The question, pony, he growled. We have been fighting the Kamungas since the very foundation of Glidedale. Century after century, they have ravaged our land, spilled our blood, and in turn spilled theirs. Do you dare tell us that we are in the wrong about them?
Applejack swallowed again. Yes, I do, because y'all are. You're just too stubborn to admit it, and I don't blame you. You suffered a lot trying to find them, but I don't think y'all had to.
The Kamungas are bloodthirsty monsters. You cannot fathom all they have cost us. Each and every pony in this throne room has lost something, or some pony to the Kamungas.
They ain't monsters, they're animals. Eleanor's pony cried. I know how you feel. I knew, because before I came here, I felt the same way about all of y'all. She looked with gentle eyes at the Dale ponies amidst the bush trees. When I first heard about Glidedale, I thought y'all would be barbarians. I thought y'all didn't have any kind of civilization. I came here, I saw how empty it was. Now you're all just wild animals. I was wrong. Y'all ain't like equestrian ponies, but it don't make you barbarians. It just makes you different. I realize that now. I realize that different ain't bad. It's just different. She turned back to Hammerhoof. The Kamungas, they're different too. They're way different, but it don't make them bad. And it don't make them worth slaughtering, now if you can help it. Hammerhoof hissed through his teeth.
I have no time for this. He barked and turned around. Keep your nonsense to yourself. I must. I'll wager you.
For the second time, Hammerhoof stopped in his tracks. For the second time, he turned around. In the crowd, Steelbane had heard her breath.
Wager?
He muttered. Alzek nodded. Asbel told me about your wagers. How you used it to help you barter. So I'm offering you one now. I wager I can keep the Kamungas from destroying Thagcombe without killing a single one. Hammerhoof narrowed his eyes. He chewed on his lip for a moment.
I will not risk the Dale Guard's safety on such foolishness,
he snarled. You don't have to risk any opponent. I'll do it alone, Applejack said. That's the way you prefer me, right? Hammerhoof snored.
Alone then.
Not alone! Rainbowdash cried, trying up beside Applejack. I'll be with her. As would I! Rarity cried. No matter what! She stood at Applejack's other side.
The three of you, then, Hammerhoof said. And only three of you?
Yeah, Applejack nodded.
Every pony in Thagcombe will stand by armed and armored, ready to attack the Kamungas when you fail.
That sounds fair, Applejack said. Lord, she added. Hammerhoof nodded.
And what do you wager?
Orzar's pony took a deep breath and slowly let it out. If I'm right, you gotta let the rest of us cross the Glidedale. Not just me, but all three of us.
And if you're wrong?
Applejack grimaced. If I'm wrong, we survive. Then you won't even have to escort us back to the Dragon Bridge Mountains. I won't make you send a Dale Guard back to kind of air and Kamungas about. So till they're done running, you can lock us right up here at Thagcombe. Verity gasped, and Rainbow Dash sunk back.
Agreed, her host sighed, stomping the ground beside her hoof. The Gumbungus will be here within an hour of daybreak. Eagle Voice's reckoning of them is right. It is just you to prepare.
He turned away and gave Applejack an equal parts lick heart and shocked. Then followed his father, Bright Voice, to the doorways to the throne's left. As soon as their lord was gone, the outpoints exploded to gossip. She had reached a great volume in no time. Applejack remained where she stood. She felt rooted to the earth. She had never felt before this firm, this heavy, and this strong. Applejack, Verity said, her voice gentle. Darling, I don't want to be the one to second guess you. You do tend to have great strokes of brilliance in your rustic way, but I don't believe this is a very good idea. Reserve Point turned to her friends and smiled. Don't worry, Al. I got a plan.